Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Namaste Grindin Podcast. We're here, we're back, man. Consistency is key. I am super excited because today it's always family that come through, so I'm super excited that it's my sister today, so that it could be like a more relaxed, like family conversation in this thing. But originally, definitely someone who came into my life unexpectedly, random, and that's like the great part about the entire Namaste Grindin Podcast is it's always about that divine connection, like how it happened. And so what happened was she didn't know that I was just gonna cling to her and just become a part of her family. I think she tried to fight it at first, but I'm so glad that you're done fighting it and that it's official. Like this, I'd love to welcome to the show my big sister. Heavy on the mind. My big sister. And just wonderful mentor in ways. A sister, like a soul sister. So and the Black Pearl. I don't know. This the Black Pearl. Or Pearl, the black one. I don't know. Like however you want to say it. And I don't want to take away and get too soppy, and I might start tearing up, but I don't want to take away from what you do professionally, so you could definitely introduce yourself and tell the world what you do as a profession, if you want to.
I just do the best I can.
Amen.
Honestly.
Amen. Amen.
I just do the best I can. I'm a spoken word artist. First of all, away from spoken word, I'm a mother, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm a black woman in America. I'm a grandmother. I'm a daughter, right? Mm-hmm. I'm also a poet and a writer. And I just share my vantage point, life coach and financial coach in housing and things that I do. I tell people a lot of times I'm Girl Friday, I'm just your Girl Friday. You seen that movie?
No.
See, now there's a recommendation for you. Now you have to watch the movie Girl Friday, because I'm your Girl Friday. I'm just your go-to girl.
Okay, yeah. I do have to watch it. That's an assignment for all of us.
Right. Something.
Yeah. That's what's up. So that, so all of those titles though, I've been blessed enough to see. But
a little bit, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I've definitely so I'm like, yup. I'm just over here nodding and smiling and stuff. But when I first ever laid my eyes on you, you performed for the Urban League Twin Cities Young Professionals.
Ah, yeah.
And I remember I did a video, like a TikTok to pump to advertise the event out.
Okay.
And I remember I was introducing, I was like, and we got the Black Pearl and that, and I'm like, okay, and Rachel told me oh, she's a spoken word artist. And then I saw you up there, and it's just so amazing when I see you perform from that first day, how you can make a room quiet.
Ah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, who is this?
Right.
And then now here we are years later, and I'll see you perform at the Green Room.
Yeah. And
just see you perform in all these different spaces. And I love how you quiet a room.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy because, at the Green Room, other people will tell people to be quiet.
Yeah.
And the way you'll control a mic.
Yeah.
Just to, I've seen you, people will be talking and I don't know what it is. They'll just be like, huh? Because you just keep going. You don't stop. You just keep going. And, you could just quiet it down.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's so funny that you said that, because somebody said that to me last night. They were like, Pearl, you really command attention on the mic. And it's I don't do that intentionally, because the first thing that I do in a performance is tell people to make noise for themselves. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you acknowledge the energy that surrounds you, people then are more intentional to see what it is that you have to contribute to that. So that's kind of my zhizh, that's my thing. I really, I center myself there, and that's my nervous tick too, because I'm always nervous. So I don't want people to clap for me, but I want them to clap for themselves, you know, because you got to take you with you when you leave here. I hope you take little bits and pieces of what I've shared with you and it adds something to you, but you still got to take you and feel good about it, you know? Yeah.
Amen. Because you definitely, it is. I'm always making noise for myself when I'm in the room.
Right.
And you've got the mic too.
You got to make some noise for yourself. You got to make some noise for yourself.
It is. And I'm, and nervous tics. We were talking about my nervous tick earlier, and that was like when I would start my podcast, I was like, I'm super excited.
Right.
Like, I just feel like, what is she excited for? Like, I'm nervous. I'm actually shaking right now. Like,
yeah, I have horrible anxiety, but I think I manage it pretty well.
Extremely well, because I wouldn't even think that. Like I said, like, there's no way you get up and you stand up in front of people who don't know you. Auditoriums full of students and continuously teaching and pouring into people that you don't know.
Right. I think, you know, I'm going to tell you something. I had the privilege of working with the late Will Darrell Bell, rest his energy, Def Poetry Jam poet. And I remember when he came here to the Twin Cities, this was many moons back or what have you. So we had brought him here to do an event over in St. Paul. And he said to me, he's like, Black Pearll, you all right? I was like, I'm nervous. And he was like, I'm going to tell you something. The moment that you get ready to get on the mic and you're not nervous, you're not giving the true of yourself. You don't need to do it anymore. That's when you need to let it go. And so I said, yeah. I said, that I received that, you know. And so I think that is why the angst and the anxiety, you know, because your words travel places where you're not always there to defend them, you know. And it's a vulnerable thing, you know. You're releasing your vulnerability. You're releasing your innermost thoughts, you know, things that could probably start arguments if you just had it in a conversation with somebody regularly or just posted it on social media. Now you're here in a room with a mic full of people and their opinions, you know what I'm saying? And you're being given a platform to just really share, you know, some of your innermost thoughts. And sometimes they're received well. Sometimes I get, you know, other sidebar conversations, but for the most part, it's been good. I was known as the angry poet for a long time, but, you know, I think my girl Marie Shante, she used to call me the cut you poet. And she's like, Pearl, she's like, Pearl, you be cutting them with your words. You be cutting them. So I don't know. I don't try to. I just tell what I feel.
I'm sorry. Because you know I know. You be cutting, slicing, and dicing people with words. Like, I mean, I just think it's just you. It's everything. Words are you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Words of wisdom. That's right. Like, that's you.
Right.
And you were talking about just being nervous, but I think that it speaks volumes that you could be nervous and feel that way on the inside, but yet you can change the energy completely on the outside.
Correct.
So it lets me know, like, as you're talking, I'm like, oh, that's confirmation. That's, you know, and I'm taking note for myself that, like, if I'm nervous and and everything's like, and I'm paying attention to my craft that much. Right. That I care about it that much to deliver it correctly to whoever, to any ears that it lands on, you know, that I'm gonna take that too. You know, I'm gonna take that gem too.
Yeah. You can. You can. You definitely should. Yeah.
So I know last night we was at the green room. Shout out to the green room.
Shout out to the green room.
Look. I told Frank last night he was my therapist. But last night I was eavesdropping on a conversation per usual. Yeah. I definitely was listening to you talk about your start. Your start in poetry. So like it's I mean, and you were talking about many moons ago it making you feel nervous, and you still have those nerves today. So I want to know, many moons ago when you first started, and the nerve, like, how did that even happen? How were you pushed on stage? What inspired all of this? Where did the Black Pearll start?
Where did the Black Pearll come from? I've been writing poetry since I was in 4th grade. My teacher at Field Elementary School, shout out to Field, South Minneapolis, her name was Vicki Digby, dope teacher. I was a very, very quiet and timid child, just from all the racial trauma I experienced in other schools. Okay,
in Minnesota.
This is Minnesota racism at its finest, early '80s. Okay,
they got it down packed.
They did. They had it down packed, and so I was a very timid child, and I would read, but I didn't like to write, and I didn't like to read out loud. I did not want my name to be called, anything. And Miss Digby, she had brought these little books, and she said, "We're all going to write poetry books." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, everybody's going to write poetry books." So she's giving us all of these different writing prompts and what have you. And so I wrote some pretty good stuff. I still have my poetry book from 4th grade. We were able to color the cover and do whatever, and so it was pretty cool. And so I started my writing then. She made me get up and share. Nervous then, because everything was a whisper, because I'm like, why am I speaking in front of these people? And they were kids that I was in the class with, but the discomfort started there. I just continued to write. And having a place to store my innermost thoughts and being able to retain a lot of those books has been good, because then I can see my growth. And my family and I sat down. First business that I started was Black Pearll Graphics Incorporated. It was African American greeting cards, postcards, notepads, coloring books, and stationery. I had the privilege of participating in the National Foundation for Teaching Entrepreneurship when I was in high school, and I wrote a business plan for Black Pearll Graphics. And Your Hero Books, which was a black bookstore that was here in Minneapolis, used to be right off of Lake Street and Bloomington. So Bloomington and Lake Street, they had a little spot right there, what have you. And our family was, they bought our books wholesale, and we had our stuff in there. And I would work with my stepmom. Shout out to my stepmother, Michelle, at the bookstore from time to time. And I had the privilege of meeting Desdemona. And Your Hero had moved by then up the block. So they were on the corner, and she was doing poetry readings. So we would go into just a little room. It was a small room, and probably like 4 or 5 of us in there, and we would just share poetry and talk about books and be absorbing in the bookstore. You've been in my house, I love books to this day. So it was a good space for me. And then I got invited to an open mic that she was having at the Riverview. And I remember I was so scared. I told my cousin Teresa, I'm like, "Come on, you got to go with me, because I'm a do some poetry." She's like, "You gonna read your poems?" I'm like, "Yeah." She was like, "Out loud?"
So this is the first time you were gonna actually do it.
Yeah. And I didn't even. This is the crazy things. I just knew I was reading poetry. I didn't know that I was a spoken word artist. Didn't consider myself a spoken word artist. I didn't even know what the heck a spoken word artist was. Okay, so then I went and shared there a couple of times. Had the opportunity. I got invited down to Java Noir, which now at this time was on Lindale. Your Hero Books was inside of there, so kind of still following the bookstore. Right. And they had the Red Room, and Sister Anika was hosting it down there. I was too afraid at this time. The room would be packed, and it was such a beautiful energy in there, but I never got on the mic. I would just go and listen, and just listen in the space. And so time went on, and I started my venture at the Blue Nile, and went to the Blue Nile. I think I performed there a couple of times before the Black Pearll was born on the Blue Nile stage. And
okay.
Yeah. So I rebirthed myself, Black Pearll, on the Blue Nile stage. Yeah.
I love these episodes because I learned so much about the people around me.
Right. Okay. So the Blue Nile became my sanctuary on Tuesday. Like it kept me sane and from a prison ministry between Wednesday and the next Monday.
Amen.
So long as
God's good. God is real good.
So long as I can, get my dose of art on Tuesdays. So it's called The Poet's Groove, and it was hosted by Desdemona and Kevin Washington. Teaching stage, beautiful space, just good energy. I wish you could have experienced it, because the green room gives you that feel, but the Nile was something different. The green room is a great space. The Nile just gave you a little bit something different. Like the green room make you feel like you got to have your stuff together before you get on the stage. The Blue Nile was a teaching stage. You learned about mic etiquette. You learned how to play the drums if you wanted to come in and sit in with the band and what have you, because Kevin was a music instructor. So a lot of the people that you see on the green room stage, they had the opportunity to be shaped and groomed by Mr. Washington himself, So that's the dope thing about that space,
I think it's dope to hear about those stories from the Blue Nile, and then to see like the legacy.
Right.
Like to see legacy. And I think, things change over time,
Indeed.
But, and I don't know what that was like. And I really, really, really wish I would have came and made Minneapolis my stomping ground before, because the way y'all speak about the Blue Nile sound like I really need to be in there.
Right. The Black Pearll was born on the Blue Nile stage. Still didn't know I was a spoken word artist.
So at this time, you didn't got a title.
Yeah,
because you're still nervous.
Because Kevin Washington asked me, "What's your stage name?" Yeah. One day. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know. And so I thought about it. I went home and thought about it, and that's when I came with the Black Pearll. So pearls are formed as black pearls are extremely rare, and so they are formed deep in the water when a very small granulate of sand gets caught into an oyster and it's agitated, and so my life has been some agitation. I didn't have to grow through some stuff with a lot of pressure on my back, not just about being black, but just about being black, right? And so that's where that's where I arrived with that. And black pearls really aren't black. You hold them up to the light and they reflect all lights around them. So I'm an empath, and I feel everything, and I reflect the things that are around me. The energy that you typically get out of me is what you pull out of me, So if you want that fire, you can get that fire. Yeah. But if you want a genuine and healthy relationship, you can get that from me too. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that it's not necessarily all about me. So.
Right. Just life's mission. Right. It is so crazy. I just recently am starting to really grasp that in my head. Right. It's not about me, and then I'm fighting to it, a little bit of anger, because I'm still trying to. I still want to hold on to some ego and some pride, and just that agitation. Right. I be wanting to hold on to it. You know. Right. Because I feel like it's justified. Right.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is, but you don't got to put your stamp and seal on everything. They gonna know your imprint was there because of who it impacted in the moment, lifetime. And it'll resonate. It's kind of like throwing a penny in a wishing well or throwing a rock in the water. The ripples go on and on. Even when you don't see them anymore, the vibration is still there, because there's still movement.
Still had an effect. Right. For sure. I'm definitely just working on it. Yeah. But
it's a whip. It's a work in progress.
And to be real, you helped me work through this. So I appreciate you so much, because there's so much when I'm just when I be frustrated and I be going through my little valley, my little feelings, my hurt, Yeah. In a way, I'm thankful that you have the wisdom, that you were under that situation where where the Black Pearll was formed. I'm really grateful.
I know my letters and numbers. Still didn't know I was a spoken word artist. I got to give a shout out to my DJ, Matthew Mixwell.
Why is that?
Because Mixwell was so instrumental in my development of the Black Pearl.
Once she got her name.
Once she got her name.
And she knew the reason why that name existed.
Why that name existed. Mm-hmm. And so Matthew Mixwell grabbed a hold of me and was like, Pearl, voices merging. We're having a poetry slam at the U of M. And I was like, what is that? And he was like, the same thing that you do here, I need you to come and do there. I'm explaining to you how it goes. He was like, second that you breathe on the mic, the clock starts, you got to be able to deliver in this amount of time and what have you. It's going to be these many rounds. Come on down there to the slam. Mm-hmm. And I went by myself, nervous as all get out, you know, because I've never done this before. And that was my first slam experience, like competitive poetry type stuff, you know? And I'm like, and it was packed. And I was scared out of my wits. I think I remember standing in, because we were in the Kaufman Union. And I remember standing in the back and not anywhere near the stage or where the stage was, you know? And I was standing in the back, you know, my name was called. I went up there and I was just, you know, I was terrified, but I remembered what he said and just, you know, and Mixwell and I did a lot of events around the Twin Cities. I even had him come here back to the Twin Cities. He moved out to the East Coast when I was doing a lot of playwriting and opening the sky for young people as I was teaching for Minneapolis Public Schools, for him to come and do all the sound and the soundtracks and music and stuff like that. Yeah, we did our thing. We put Honey on the map. You know, before Honey was Honey, we put Honey on the map. That was back in 2010. Like, yeah.
What you mean?
Honey used to be a spot, 205 East Hennepin, Northeast Minneapolis, and it was reggae, dance hall, poetry. Like it was.
It's like these spots at now.
Those spots don't exist anymore. Big shout out to Frank Centwali and Edupoetic, Interbrainment, him, Tayo, Black Power, Queen Drea, like a Hante, like all of those beautiful people. I got the opportunity to open up for Def Poetry Jam poets, riding with them. Like that was my first big show, like paid gig. I was like, what am I doing? I was terrified.
But I will say this: the legacy just continues to move on, because continues to go on.
Yeah.
Because what I'm hearing is like from your first poetry jam, like, and then I'm saying, well, I wish that stuff would happen, but like the vibes are being curated.
Right.
The spaces are being curated for this stuff to happen.
Right.
My bad. I'm not close enough to the mic. I'd be messing up. I'd be all, but so just like the legacy of the Blue Nile is the green room, and then the legacy of, you know, other poetry slams like going on, like, and now you're hosting one.
Right.
Yeah. And now you're bringing that space back. I just love it when it's just full circle.
Well, the whole thing is, in 2010, I relocated back here to the Twin Cities. And I started my own organization, Words of Wise Dome. Words of Wise Dome is that. It's Words Wise Dome. You know, it's you know, play on the context of the words. But
yeah, I hope y'all got that.
Right, the words.
It just be something.
It just be that, whatever. But I started doing self-reflecting writing workshops with folks, and had the privilege and honor to go into a lot of different spaces and work with a lot of different folks, victims of violence, families in transition, you know, really helping people to define success for themselves. And
how was that?
It's earth-shaking. Okay. You know, it's earth-shaking because society gives us its opinion on what they think success is supposed to look like. You know, we're measured by their yardstick all the time, but someone doesn't get the opportunity to articulate what they feel makes them truly successful, and how that looks for them. So it was very vulnerable for a lot of people in a lot of different spaces and what have you. But I'm thankful for the opportunity that I got to nudge the shell for other pearls. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, come on.
So
that's a word.
yeah, it is. You know, and that's why I'm the Black Pearl, not because I'm not the only one. You know, everybody's growing through their own agitation, and I get to nudge the shell and awaken it. You know, so they can see their light. You know, and so that's what I love about Words of Wisdom. And now this will be the second slam that we're going to host, so super excited about that. April 26th. Yeah, I'm so excited. Ain't that what you say? I'm so excited. Yeah, so
yeah, I'm excited for that to happen too. And then just being out, and okay, so there's something that I see and I just admire about someone getting on the mic and be able to speak their truth in front of so many people. Because like the truth can be ugly as hell. And that's the reason why, like, and then it's like for someone to take an ugly truth and turn it around and just make it beautiful. And just say, like, this is how I felt, this is what I was going through. And I'm just realizing like how much weight poems really hold.
They do.
Like, it's just and it's, I know it's kind of sick to say, but it's like, oh, I'm not the only one hurting. But like, and it's like you can see other people, like, you know, other people expressing themselves, social media, we got famous people, this, that, and the third, right? And there's all this type of expression of art that goes on all around us. But to see someone that you could literally touch and be like, yo, I hear you, I see you, I just feel like it's a different experience. You know what?
It's really funny that you say that, because people used to come up to me and be like, Pearl, I wrote this poem, I want you to read it and tell me if you like it. I'm like, do you like it? Like, how do you feel about it? You know? Because I can't necessarily be the judge or weigh the measure on your vulnerability in that moment. You know? I learned with slam, competed in women's nationals down in Austin, Texas, against 72 other women from all over the world. And I just kind of stumbled into that. I started slamming with Kieran's Irish pub that used to be downtown Minneapolis, another poetry spot that we lost. Shout out to Allison. And I slammed in St. Paul Artist Quarters, different little spots, you know, what have you. But I got the opportunity to go to Women's Nationals, took my daughter Justice with me down there, and it was a very, very vulnerable experience, because I didn't know that the delivery of words and how you use poise and posture and things like that could be so competitive, you know. But people are very serious about their craft, and people got a lot of stuff to say, and they feel a lot. I tell people all the time, poetry saved my life. Spoken word poetry saved my life and a lot of other people's too. You better give me a mic and let me blow that out, you know.
Like what you say, it saved you from
a prison ministry. From being on Live at 5.
You know, that's a beautiful thing. Just the outlet. And being able to transfer that.
Right. You got to transfer it. You got to do something with it. And through my words and my work, I don't always want to tell the trauma. I want to tell the triumph. You know what I mean? I'm going to give you a little bit about what I grew through, but I'm going to tell you what it looked like on the other side, because, you know, words are vibrations that produce power. So even before you think it in your mind, quantum physically, you know what I mean? You make manifest of things that you say out of your mouth, that you can call things to you, but you can also call things away from you too. So you got to be really careful with it. You know, you got the the opportunity to gain attention of people for however long that may be, whether it's 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, whatever, you know. Say something meaningful, you know. Say something that's going to produce something better, you know. Yeah.
And that's something that they can carry.
Something that
they can take with them. Like you said, like take you got to be you when you walk up out of here.
Right.
But like, what you holding?
Right.
What you gonna hold on to?
Right.
I had a friend of mine one time talk about how like as humans we're like Clydesdale horses, and they can pull anywhere between like 2 tons to 6 tons. Mm-hmm. And like, so she was telling me about that, so that I would be mindful about what I'm carrying.
Right.
So if you know that you gonna tap out at 6 tons,
right,
don't be running around carrying guilt, anger, and certain things, or animosity, hatred.
Right.
Because that's heavy. The heavy stuff gonna add up, and then you're not gonna have. You want a lot of light stuff.
Right.
You want a lot, so that's true. So
and I'm doing this slam because I want some inspiration. Like, I've been in a heavy spot, and now
let's talk about the slam.
The slam is
the slam, the poetry slam.
The poetry slam.
It's coming up.
Right. April 26th. Mm-hmm. I want to be inspired, and I know that there are a lot of new poets that I haven't met. And so to have the opportunity to work with some pretty dope people, I'm pumped for that. And want to collect new energy and create different spaces and different relationships and things like that. Not that the old ones are bad; they're all good. Oh,
no, but they cleared the sky, like you said earlier.
You open the sky. You open the sky for others. Yeah,
and then that's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful part.
Yeah. That's why I love hosting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love hosting, to open the sky for others. Give them an opportunity.
Most definitely.
Right.
And also just letting them know that it's a form of expression that you could do. Like, I would say that that's what it does for me.
Well, let them know I hear you.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Not I'm listening to you, but I actually hear you. I hear you.
So, hearing folks at the slam is what we're going to do. I definitely want to give you an opportunity, like, let them know, like, straight up, like, let them know about the slam. Go in, because I always tell people, like, when we're wrapping up, like, you gotta let them know where to find you, where they're gonna find you next, and we obviously know it's gonna be at the Poetry Slam, or they can catch you at the Green Room.
But they can catch me. I'm on every social media platform. Pearl, it's Pearll with 2 L's, one for life and one for love, because I love life. And last name Warren, Warren. April 26th. I will be at 3338 University Avenue, Northeast, 5:30 p.m. Doors open.
Okay.
So we will have the slam there. It is an 18-plus event. Tickets are $30. And I'm super pumped and excited. 12 poets, 3 rounds of poetry, and a good time with beautiful people. So, we're there from 5:30 to 9:30.
Yeah, 5:30 to 9:30.
Yeah.
12 poets, 3 rounds.
Yeah.
$500 cash prize.
$500 cash prize.
I mean,
that's...
Yeah.
And it's not too late to register. We got like 5 slots left. So,
okay.
Yeah, there's 5 slots left. Tried to put a deadline on it, but poets be slow to the game sometimes.
Well, I was gonna say something about that 5:30 start time. So, like, make sure y'all get in there.
Oh yeah, be in there, because we're gonna start promptly at 6 o'clock. This is not CP time stuff, so I need people to be on time and prompt, and
and ready to go.
Right.
Awesome. I'm definitely gonna be in the building. I
Namaste Grindin gonna be in the building.
Yeah.
And the name of this poem is the slam is I Said What I Said.
Yeah.
I said what I said.
I said what I said.
I said what I said, and I meant what I said.
Right. That is a beautiful thing. I am so happy that you came onto the Namaste Grindin Podcast.
I love Namaste Grindin.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I love you, Brittany.
I love you, girl. But it's just really, really great just to know, for me, to figure out, to just always learn something more, especially more about the people that I love.
Right.
And the people that are close to me, that influence me, that help mentor me, that, like, just help me get through it, to help me get me through my moments.
Right.
Especially when I feel like I'm finna give up, when I want to wave my white flag. And oftentimes you come to me as a reminder to me.
Right.
So, like, I definitely love sharing space with the people that just remind me of the mission.
Right.
And that's, you know, regardless of what the emotion is. So
Yeah.
I just appreciate you, and I love you, and I'm super excited. Like,
let's continue to process. You know,
Yeah.
there's no final product with me that's complete yet.
Right.
So
Oh,
I'm gonna keep doing this thing until I can't no more. So yeah.
And I think I want to thank you for bringing up the fact of just staying, that it's okay to be nervous.
Right.
And so, and we talked about it, and whatever you got to do, if it's a saying or a fidget or just breathing, something
Yeah.
simple, whatever it takes for you to just keep on going and make sure that you stay grinding.
Right.
You know, that you stick into the process, that you're
Right.
going to keep doing what you feel in your heart and soul is the right thing to do.
Right.
And then just know that them nerves is a good thing.
Right.
So I definitely appreciate you for that, Gem. Y'all take note. If you got to write it down, do whatever y'all got to do to make sure that you take what you need from this conversation.
Yeah.
I love y'all. Thank y'all for joining another episode. And I'm not quite sure if I said it, but y'all know the drill. Like, subscribe, share, follow, leave a comment. Like, just definitely make this like something that's interactive. So with all of us. So yeah. Until next time, y'all. Namaste.